Hey y'all, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. My name is Alicia. Just so you guys know, this is my first ever makeup tutorial and I'm pretty stoked about it. I went with a holiday Christmas glam look. Nothing too glam though, just because it is my first video, and also I kind of want you guys to get to know me before I go crazy and start doing all the fun fancy stuff. So I went with a cat eye, a gold smoky look with a red lip. There's nothing better and easier to do than a red lip for Christmas. I just thought it was really appropriate, kind of party ready, but also family friendly ready. You don't want to go a little bit too crazy and look like you're about to go on the red carpet for Christmas. So I just kind of give you a step-by-step of what I did to get this look. I hope you guys enjoy it, and like and subscribe if you actually enjoyed it. So our first step was the Makeup Forever primer. So you're just going to apply that all over the face. I like to use upward circular motions and always work up the face. So I prep the skin above the eyelid with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. I want to get a decent amount of product on there. I'm using my ring finger because it is more gentle since the skin on the eyelid is a lot more sensitive. Next, I take the Wet n Wild All Natural palette. And I'm going to use the whitest color because that's me. I'm white, and I'm going to use a nice fluffy brush. And I'm going to just pat that lightly on my eyes, just kind of a pat, and then I did a little bit of an upward stroke towards my eyebrows. And I'm doing that all over the entire lid just to give us a base, and it'll hold in that primer. Next up, I took the L'Oreal Nude Palette 2, and I'm using that third color. It's kind of like a mauvey brown color, and I used a blending brush, and I'm going to do little windshield wiper movements right above the crease. Same thing other side. And then I'm taking my blending brush and I'm just blending out any harsh lines because we don't want any of that. And then we also just want to blend upwards towards the eyebrow so that the color blends completely. Next, I took the L'Oreal Nude Palette 1 and I used the darker gold color. And I'm using a flat brush and lightly patting that into the outer crease and just going till about inner corner. Well, not all the way in the inner corner, just a little bit closer to the eyebrow. And I'm blending that one out to blend both colors together. I'm kind of going for a cut crease type style with this tutorial. I'm using my Naked Urban Decay palette and I love it, and I'm using the darker gold in that one. It's very similar to the L'Oreal palette, just a little more shimmery. And I used my angle brush and I did a triangle on the outside of my outer corner. And I'm blending that out. I'm back to my Nude Palette 1 and I'm using the far right light color. And I'm going to apply that on the inner crease until about the middle of my lid, just to give a little bit of white base shimmer. You're going to notice throughout this tutorial I do a lot of building on with my colors. In order to get the best coloring that I was going for, I did have to use different colors. Next, I'm taking my Morphe palette. I actually do not know what number Morphe palette this is, but I'm using the gold color. And I'm using a teeny tiny blending brush. And I'm going to apply that right in the crease, not above the crease, but right in the crease. It's going to highlight my crease just a tiny bit and just make it appear more pop. Give it a little more pop, I guess. I'm back to my L'Oreal palette, and I'm using the gold. I'm going to use my finger this time because this product it just shows up better when I use my finger and pat it onto the eyelid. And I'm blending all my colors together. Back to my Morphe palette, and I'm going to use a reddish brown color just to give it a little bit more of a Christmas crisp look. And I'm doing my outer V. And I'm kind of going for a little bit of a cut crease cat eye with the red, and I'm using an angle brush. And I'm kind of just doing a straight line there, just kind of harsh at this point. And I'm taking that into my crease, and then I'm going to blend that out with my blending brush. And I did the same thing on both eyes. Back to my Morphe palette again. Love my Morphe palettes. I think this is my sparkly one. I'm going to my brighter gold color, and as I put this one on, it turned out a little bit more orange than I was anticipating. So you can kind of see that I'm not totally loving the color. So I'm going to actually go back and use my Urban Decay Naked palette again. There is a beautiful yellow gold in there that is just perfect for this Christmas look that I'm going for. It has enough shimmer, and I think with the orange built underneath it, it just gives it a whole lot more of a Christmas vibe. And I'm going to use my angle brush and back to the reddish brown color, and I'm doing the underneath the eye, and I'm kind of just going to about half the eye, and I'm blending very lightly. I'm kind of using this as my eyeliner for this look, and I'm going to blend with a little blending brush, just my little baby one. Back to my Urban Decay Naked palette, and I used the same gold color that I used on my middle lid, underneath the eyes, both on the inner crease and right underneath that red that I just did. And I am using the Rimmel eyeliner. It's just a liquid liner that I really have had for a long time, and I really like it. It just has an easy applicator brush. As you can see, this eye went on pretty flawless. The other side, I did struggle a little bit more, but I'm using a brand new mirror, and I actually don't usually do my makeup sitting down, so this was a little difficult for me. But all in all, it actually ended up working out. Still kind of struggling. And I'm taking my angle brush again. Back to the Wet n Wild palette. I'm using my nice beautiful black. It's just a matte black that I like, and I pressed that on a little bit of the crease because I wanted to go a little darker with my eyeliner on the bottom. Next, I am about to contour with my Anastasia palette. I just recently got it, and I'm absolutely in love with it. So for my face shape, this is my typical contouring technique. I use the darker color this time in order to give it a little bit more of an edge. Usually I like to go softer, but I was really wanting to bring out the contouring for this look and just give it a more party look. You can tell I'm really going to town with my contouring, and I'm enjoying all this bronzer. When you have a very fair skinned, this is what you do. I'm using my Lock It by Kat Von D concealer. I'm
applying pretty generously, and I'm going to use my Beauty Blender brush. I usually like to wet my brush, sponge, not a brush. It just tends to help my product blend better. I absolutely love to conceal my under eyes, being that I'm very fair skinned and have pretty dark circles under my eyes. Back to contouring palette. I'm actually going to use the highlighting color. And I've got one of my brushes again, and I'm just gonna apply a little bit of highlight right under the eyes just to brighten up a little bit, and my nose, my forehead, and my chin. I am absolutely in love with Makeup Forever's liquid foundation. It is completely fabulous. I used it for my wedding day and it lasts me all day. It has a pretty decent coverage. I'd say it's full coverage. And it's kind of has a dewy look, which is what I was going for on my wedding day, since I had a fall wedding and it was still kind of hot out. I just love the dewy look. It just seems a little bit more natural than a full-on matte look. So the key to contouring is blending. You never want to see any of those harsh lines, and if you do, you're gonna look like you have mud on your face, and nobody likes that. So just be sure to blend. I'm using my little e.l.f. eyebrow, I don't even know what it's called, filler inner, and I just use a little bit just to fill in my brows, because my brows are pretty prominent on their own, so I just have a few sparse areas that I like to just fill in, and I do accentuate my tail just a tiny bit. This e.l.f. product is amazing. It's only like $1. And I'm brushing my brows back into place, and this also blends that color so it's not harsh. And I'm using my Too Faced setting powder, and it's called Born This Way. So you can kind of see that I'm going mostly in a downward motion, and the key to that is you have these little hairs on your face that you want to push down and not up, because then you get that textured look. I just got this Becca palette on Black Friday and it is fabulous. I love it. It is so shimmery, so sparkly. I'm going to use the whitest color. This was the first time I actually ever used it. And you can see shortly that I was a little bit shocked with how sparkly it was, and I loved it though. I just wasn't sure how easily I was going to be able to blend this. But in the end, it worked out. I like to do it on my nose. Who doesn't like a sparkly, shimmery nose? Who doesn't love glitter? I mean, holidays call for glitter, right? I was kind of a little bit bold, and I decided to use this hot pink blush, and I am telling you, it is a hot pink blush. But like I said, the key to contouring and blush is blending. There I go again. There's my favorite tool in my entire makeup palette, my brush. I like to use my eyelash curler. Some people are terrified of these because they end up, sometimes chopping your lashes off. You can skip this step, but my lashes are extremely straight and I need this. I use a Revitalash mascara. I use it so often that the label is completely worn off. I need to get a new one. I like to use a blue primer before I actually apply this. It just really helps hold the mascara, but not only that, the blue brings out the green in my eyes. It really just accentuates that color of my natural eye color. And we all know how to apply mascara. I did just a tiny bit on the bottom, even though I have my eyelashes tinted. Now for the fun part. NYX carries a amazing red suede lipstick. It finishes matte, it goes on as a gloss, and it is bright red and it is gorgeous. It is the perfect look for holidays. I actually just did a client this recently and used this color on her, and it just looked fabulous. And here's the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And here's our bloopers. Whoops.